What does time as public health control mean? It is a procedure that uses time instead of temperature to limit the growth of harmful bacteria in food. Once time is used as a control, food may no longer be returned to be used later. It must be discarded. Therefore, foods may not be refrigerated, reheated, or placed in a warmer for later service. When using SmartTemps, record temperatures under holding when the food arrives at your school. Record temperatures under serving prior to serving breakfast and at the end of lunch meal service. Time as public health control procedures are used for hot foods, and time as public health control starts when the holding temperature is recorded using SmartTemps probe and tablet. When you report to work for lunch, you must take and record the temperature of all hot foods. SmartTemps automatically logs the time. This time and temperature starts time as public health control. Hot foods must be discarded at the end of the last serving period or at the end of 4 hours, whichever comes first. Time as public health control procedures are used for cold foods if they are removed from cold holding, like your milk cooler or your refrigerator. If the cold food is not removed from cold holding for service, it can be saved for use later. For cold foods removed from cold holding and SmartTemps holding temperature was below 41 degrees, time as public health control procedures are used beginning with the time that the holding temperature was taken using SmartTemps. Cold foods must be kept below 70 degrees Fahrenheit and must be discarded at the end of the last serving period or at the end of 6 hours, whichever comes first. If cold foods go above 70 degrees, they can only be saved and used for 4 hours. When you are unloading the cold cabinets, you will need to record temperatures under holding. You will record today's potentially hazardous lunch foods like string cheese, shredded cheese, yogurt, and entree salads. You will temp and record tomorrow's potentially hazardous breakfast items, tomorrow's potentially hazardous fruits or vegetables, any potentially hazardous pre-K snack items, and any potentially hazardous super snack items. Once temped, put these items immediately into the cooler until you are ready for them. If you have any potentially hazardous fruits or vegetables on today's lunch menu, you must temp those when you pull them from the refrigeration, like when you're going to prepare them for students. Record these temps under serving. These are the items we received yesterday but we're serving today. This also means that once you pull these items from the refrigerator or the milk cooler, we must use or discard them within 6 hours and keep them below 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Those food items that are marked with an asterisk on your meal service records are time as public health control foods. They use time as public health control once they are pulled from the refrigeration. Items not pulled from refrigeration can be saved according to their shelf life. For example, you receive 50 peanut butter and jelly and 50 string cheese for lunch today. You immediately put them in your cooler upon receiving them. For lunch, you pull out 30 string cheese, leaving 20 in the cooler. At the end of lunch, you serve 28 string cheese total. That means you have 2 left on the counter and 20 left in the cooler. The 2 string cheese left on the counter need to be discarded as they were pulled from refrigeration. The 20 string cheese that were kept in the cooler can be saved and used at a later date. At breakfast, time as public health control procedures are used for string cheese, yogurt, and hard-boiled eggs served at breakfast if they are removed from cold holding, like your refrigerator or your milk cooler. The temperature should be taken using SmartTemps when the food is pulled from the refrigerator. Record this temperature under serving of SmartTemps. SmartTemps automatically logs the time. This is the time as public health control starts for breakfast foods pulled from cold holding. If cold food is not removed from cold holding for service, it can be saved for use later. Once a Times Public Health Control food is pulled from the cooler, the food must be used or discarded by a certain time. Cold Times Public Health Control foods can be saved for up to 6 hours if they do not reach above 70 degrees. At the end of 6 hours, the food must be discarded or served. Any leftover Times Public Health Control food that are out of refrigeration cannot be saved and used on another day. Once removed from the cooler, you must serve or discard this product within 6 hours and keep it below 70 degrees. To access the time and temperature of foods already taken, go to the Temps menu on Smart Temps, under the Main menu, those 3 white dots in the corner. Then tap Food Items. The time will be listed on the left side, and the temperature will be listed on the right side. Let's discuss how this affects the share table. For breakfast, any cold, potentially hazardous food, like string cheese, yogurt, hard-boiled egg, that are saved from the share table at breakfast can be saved and offered at lunch. In order to do so, they must be placed into the cooler between meals by placing them into a designated share table container. By keeping these items in the cooler between the meals, it helps keep the temperature below 70 degrees. Pull these leftover share table items out for lunch. After lunch, any cold, potentially hazardous foods left on the share table must be discarded. For the share table at lunch, any cold, Times Public Health Control food left on the share table must be discarded. It cannot be saved and used later. Let's talk about how to prevent getting a Times Public Health Control violation during your health inspection. The first way to prevent getting this violation during your health inspection is to take your temperatures. Like we discussed before, record the temps when you receive foods, when you pull foods from the cooler, and at the end of the meal service. Sometimes you need to toggle around or push all the up, down arrows and the hot cold buttons on the Smart Temps tablet to find the food items. Just mess around to find them. Another way to prevent a violation is to remember to take the temperatures at breakfast. Reminder, when you return for breakfast the next day, you need to take the temperature of the cold food that you serve at breakfast. This would be string cheese, yogurt, hard-boiled egg. Take the temperature of these things when you pull them from the cooler to serve them. To find these cold items on Smart Temps, reminder, you may have to toggle around to find them. Tap on the cold button, tap on the breakfast button. Go up and down until you can see breakfast and can find the menu item. The final way to prevent getting a Times Public Health Control violation is to put the sticker on your BAB or Breakfast After the Bell mobile container, whether it's the cooler or a shopping cart, whichever one you have at your school. You received a sticker attached to your January 3rd checklist. This sticker lets the health inspector know that we discard all potentially hazardous food items after 11:45 a.m. If you have any questions, please contact your nutrition services supervisor.